Welcome to the New England Real Estate Journal radio show. I'm Rick Kaplan. We're here today at the Rhode Island Realtors Conference and Expo, and we're going to be doing some interviews with some of the realtors and lenders that are exhibiting or speaking at the event. And we'll be right back with some interviews with some of the attendees. Our next interview is with our good friend Jeff Butler of Butler Realty Group, and a division of RE/MAX, or a part of RE/MAX.
Correct. Division of RE/MAX Commercial.
Commercial. And you're going to tell us a little bit about what you do and what Butler Realty Group is all about.
Well, thanks, Rich and Eric, for having me. I've been doing commercial real estate since I was licensed in 1977. So I've been at it for a few years. We started doing commercial very early on, and we've been doing residential and commercial since. Primarily doing commercial the last 20 years, almost exclusively. Still do occasional residential, but our focus has been on commercial real estate and making, through the Realtor organization, making the commercial realtor community a better place to work in Rhode Island. So we're doing a lot of work with the realtors here, with MLS, with the new Rhode Island Commercial Information Exchange, which we'll be doing a couple of classes on today. Right,
so you're going to be speaking today at the conference about some of that information that you just mentioned.
Yes, I have one at 11 o'clock and one at 2 o'clock, and it's going to be really on how to market your listings with Ricey. It's a fairly new system. We've only been live going on 2 years now, so a lot of the realtors aren't quite familiar with it yet. Some of the more savvy commercial brokers have been using it regularly, like myself. Some of the fringe brokers who do a little bit of commercial don't quite get it yet. It seems complicated. How do these tools work? So we're going to walk through it, kind of a start to finish, give them a sense of how to get your listings on there, how to market your listings, how to promote your listings. The Catalyst, which is the back end, Catalyst is a national brand, which is the back end of Rhode Island Commercial Information Exchange. They provide the service. They do some 40 or 50 other MLSs around the country, strictly for commercial. So the Ricey is a very robust system that is designed strictly for commercial. When I was on the still on the MLS task force for Ricey, but when I was on the MLS board, we determined that it was going to be too difficult to build out a brand new system, and let's adopt the best in class that's out there right now nationally, which Catalyst is, and that's what powers Ricey.
Well, that's an awful lot. How long is that class? How long are you going to speak on that?
Well, it's only, unfortunately, in about a 40-minute class. I could probably do it, for 2 hours, but we're just giving kind of a dry run, walking through the whole system, and I think they're going to find it's eye-opening what you can do with this system. We've been working, with either the commercial side of MLS prior to Ricey, which just isn't built for commercial, it's built for residential. So it's kind of like for the last 20 years, put the square peg in the round hole, just wasn't working. And then LoopNet and CoStar, a couple of the service providers for commercial databases, but they're third-party operated. So they basically use our data and sell it back to us, and those prices are always going up, and especially they have bronze, gold, diamond, platinum, and it's just getting more and more expensive to do our research for commercial real estate. So Ricey and Catalyst is our answer from the realtors to help us get a better system that we control and we can design and we can change to our users, the realtors' needs.
Now, I know you're only speaking for about 40 minutes, but there's a lot of information that people have to find out about on this. So after the class is over, is there some place they can go and sit down with someone and really go over this in a little more depth?
I think the simplest thing to do, how I've learned, over the years, and I'm an old school guy. I'm 58 years old now, but I've kind of come up through the ranks. I remember when they had thermal faxes when I first started.
Way before my time, Jeff.
Yeah, right. But I would say just go on to Rhode Island spelled out, CIE.com. So it's Rhode Island spelled out fully, RHODEISLAN, CIE.com. And just walk through it, pull down some of the screens and see how some of the stuff works. Do some searches, go on some of the listings, see how some of the mapping works, the demographics work. It's a very robust system that's really designed for our use. It's really easy to use once you get used to it, but it's that barrier to entry, like, oh, that looks scary.
Right.
It's not that bad.
So now let's get into the real nitty gritty. How is the market in Rhode Island doing?
Market is it's thawing out. You know, we're talking about the deep freeze of the recession, depression, whatever you want to call it. It's thawing out, and things are moving along. I'd say, you know, at a blazing snail's pace is what I say. It's not quite where we want it to be, and it's coming up. The office market is still pretty slow, suburban office market especially. The Class A space is going pretty good. The Class B and C is still slow because of technology. People can work out of their homes. So when all this stuff was developed in the 90s and early 2000s, there was a demand for inexpensive office space, converted homes, smaller office buildings and B and C space. So they built a lot of it out, and now with technology and consolidation, there's not a lot of demand for it. So supply is still high, demand is still low in office. Retail, they're having problems from big box down to mom and pop. There's some bright spots in there. Food service still seems to move pretty well.
Is there a way that if the Rhode Island government stepped in and helped move that along, do you think that would be helpful?
Yeah, Rich, I talk to people every day that say it's difficult to get a business started in Rhode Island because there's a lot of layers of paperwork. There's 39 cities and towns. There's all the different silos of not only municipalities, but within those, who controls this, who controls that. So yeah, they could help to streamline things, and I know Governor Raimondo is working at that, and I think she's doing a decent job at trying to pull it together. We'll see how it maps out, but we're riding it. We're on the upswing, but just a little slower than I'd like it to be.
It just takes a little time to reorganize and get on that path.
It does.
Well, thank you, Jeff. That's Jeff Butler of Butler Realty Group, part of RE/MAX Commercial.
Thank you very much, guys.
And our next interview here at the Rhode Island Conference and Expo is with Art Yatsko, and he is with Salisbury Realty Group.
Correct. Yep.
I'm doing good, huh? Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit what you're involved in, because you're involved with quite a few things.
Last year, we talked about our first golf tournament. We did very well, and we'd like to take a moment to remind people that we're doing it again this year, September 28th at Potawatomi. And I'd like to take a minute to thank some of our returning sponsors.
Thank them away. These. No, thank away. These are important people.
It's Smith Optics, who's going to come back with us. Wycott Realtors Crescent Company, Patriots Charitable Giving, Southwest Airlines, and the Red Sox Foundation. I'd like to send a special thank you to the Nuccio family for a luncheon, and to Electric Boat Quonset Point Facility Employee Services, who is going to be half our major sponsor this year.
So, Art, why don't you tell me now this is a golf tournament, and they're sponsoring it this year. Are there any other events that you put on throughout the year?
Yes,
for this?
We run a military spouse appreciation night, and this year is something new. We've been having gift card events, where we'll go to a different community and invite local realtors and businesses to come, network, and bring a gift card to a local business that we can then give to Operation Stand Down or the Family Assistance Center, which would go to help the troops.
Oh, it sounds like a fantastic organization. Now, what position do you hold in that organization?
I'm the chairperson.
The chairperson. So there's quite a few. Are most of the people involved in this from the real estate industry?
Yes, we have. We have a number of volunteers: Pat Milner, Dee Sutherland, Bill Sempe, along with my committee, which is Becky Moniz, Maggie Thurber, Pat Robitaille, Paul Santilli, Bob Jeffrey, Tony Moniz, Claudia Chappelle, Barry Clark, and Lisa McGuire, which all make this possible. So
now, with all of the things that you're involved with, do you have time to sell real estate?
Not that often, but from time to time I sell enough that I can eat. Thank you.
We might have to start an organization to help Art. You know, so he can keep doing the good work that he's been doing.
I couldn't think of a better cause.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. That's Yatsko, and it's from your company is Salisbury Realty Group.
Correct.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm joined by Mindy Lane. She is the chair of the Education Committee for the Rhode Island Association of Realtors, who puts on this event here today. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about this event, how it came to be.
This event started about 5 years ago, about half the size. It was a half-day event with just technology sessions, and since then it's grown into everything from technology to green building, QuickBooks, negotiating. We've added about 40 vendors and breakfast, lunch, and a fundraising session where we're collecting backpacks for Family Services of Rhode Island.
Oh, fantastic. What a good charity. We did speak earlier with Family Services, or Rick did. What a great collaboration you two have put together with the Rhode Island Association as well as them. When you put these together as events, how do you plan it? Is it just some speakers who come in, or do you have to do this all throughout the year to plan this specific day of classes?
It is a lot of planning. We'll start in a couple months once we recuperate from this.
Yep.
And we have a wide array of speakers this year. We have speakers from DEM. We have speakers, some of our peers are speaking. We have some legal representatives. We have some of the leadership from RIAR, from Rhode Island Association, and from MLS. And we also have representatives of Zillow this year and Realtor.com.
Oh, fantastic. And now, what does the Chair of Education do for Rhode Island Association of Realtors, so people can get kind of a little background of what you do?
We create classes and get new classes approved through DBR for credits for our license renewal every 2 years. And we put on events such as this to bring our members a time to kind of get together, do some networking, learn something from one another and from the presenters that we have.
Nice. And we're going to be doing a show for this event on YouTube. What about some future events? Anything coming up here in the forecast really shortly?
We are looking at doing a technology event, an actual technology event in the fall. Our MLS will be changing over, so we'll do something to introduce some of those products. There are many MLS products out there that are free to our members that they're really not even aware of. So we're trying to open their eyes and bring that to their attention.
Fantastic. And last question for our listeners is, where do you find out about these events, and if they want to attend? Do you have to be an association member in order to attend, or could you be, say, someone who's looking to join?
You don't have to be an association member. It is free to our members. However, if you're not a member, there is a $50 fee.
Okay.
And we did have some people walk in this year.
Nice.
And pay the fee and are here, contractors and what have you. And as far as we put it out to our membership, we send it out.
Yep.
We email it, Facebook, tweet it,
Right.
social media.
Right. And that's at RIAR Tweets if you want to follow them on Twitter. I really appreciate you coming on and joining us here for just a brief minute, Mindy. Good luck with the rest of the show. I'm sure when you're all said and done, that networking cocktail reception will be well worth it.
That's what we're waiting for. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. I'm joined by Bob Larrabee, the Senior Account Executive for the New England Institute of Technology. How are you doing today, Bob?
Tremendous.
So why don't you tell us, first of all, what a great campus is here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the New England Institute of Technology?
Okay. Well, it's funny you should ask. This year we are celebrating our 75th year in operation. We began in 1940, so that's a milestone event for us.
Of course.
And we are poised and ready for expansion. We've done all the site work. So within a few short years, we'll have some dormitories here at the college to help us grow even bigger than we are now.
Fantastic. Do you have dorms as you speak right now, or is this going to be the first time you're going to add dorms in the 75 years?
We have never had dorms.
Wow.
It changes everything, and we're all excited and terrified at the same time.
Right. What kind of education offerings do you have here at the New England Institute of Technology?
While the programs here range from associate, baccalaureate, and master's, they are technology-based. We obviously have computer programs, building trades programs, which would serve the realtor industry, medical programs, and more coming on board almost monthly.
Fantastic. And what about some of the things outside of the education that you offer, like conferences and expos and things like that?
Well, we do make, as the people here today will see, make our facility available for events like this that provide convenience and aesthetics and comfort.
And how long have you been working with the New England Institute of Technology yourself?
Myself, in some way, shape, or form, including as a student, approaching 30 years.
Oh, wow, congratulations. That's a milestone as well.
Thank you.
We're celebrating 2 milestones, 30 years and 75 years.
Yeah.
How did you get into it? Just you graduated here and moved in?
I graduated in the late 80s. I had a sales position in the electrical field. I needed to develop my presentation skills. So I asked my department chair of the electrical department if I could come back and just give some presentations about a technology product.
Yeah.
Next thing I knew, he asked me if I wanted to adjunct at night, and that was really the start of it.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Last 2 questions.
Yeah.
One, if someone wanted to attend or become a student here at New England Institute of Technology, do they just visit the website?
They could visit the website. We do have an online application process that they can enter their information. It will get collected and it will be promptly followed up.
And second question, the last one to close, is how would someone get in contact with you if they wanted to, say, put on their own conference or expo here in this facility?
Well, they can simply call me here at the college at the 800 number, 736-7744. My extension is 3355. Or they could email me at Larrabee, LARRABEE @NEIT.edu.
Now it's a double R, double E. Call Bob Larrabee if you want to have a conference and expo here at this wonderful facility. You also check out the enormous koi that they have at the bottom of the staircase. Thank you so much for joining me, Bob.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time. We're enjoying the show. We enjoy the facility. I hope after this is over, you get a chance to enjoy the cocktail hour.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
And we're here with Bruce Lane, the president of the Rhode Island Association for Realtors. And you were speaking in a panel or just a discussion about managing marketing and the PR that you would put together.
I just finished a presentation on actually budgeting your business for success. So it was just one of the classes offered here to get realtors that are coming in to the business or people who are already in the business. So it's knowing your numbers, and that's a big part of our business is knowing our numbers. You know, we deal with stats all day long. We know what commission splits will be. We know what dollars are. We need to know what our own personal budgets are and our business budgets are to make us more productive. And that was the class that I did, and that was just one of many to help our association members be better at what they do.
So is this directed to an individual broker or just as realtor sales
brokers and individual sales licensees? Anybody. We're all businesses. You have brokers who are running businesses. You have people who are working for brokers. They're a business under a business. So we're all independent contractors, and these are tools for everybody to kind of sharpen their skills.
So if you could pick out one of the biggest tips that you were offering today on budgeting and managing your marketing, what would that be?
To know your numbers and your personal and business budgets before you start this business, and if you're already in the business, to kind of brush up on what you're doing with that, because this is a business that's focused on commission revenue. We can have some really good months, and sometimes we could have some soft months. This winter certainly was indicative of it was a tough winter. So
we know that
if you had budgets and if you had projections and you focused on those, it would help you get through those a little bit more. That was my point. And again, that was just one of many, many classes and presentations.
Now, the Rhode Island Association for Realtors, do you help brokers and sales people throughout the year when they have issues like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have a legal hotline that's run by Monica's staff. If somebody has a legal question, they can pick up the phone and call in and ask. Before they do anything that they're unsure of, they have the resources to call. We run the statewide MLS. If you have a question on how to put something in, or if you're having somewhat of a technical problem, you have somebody to pick up the phone and call. We put together events where we have learning events where people come in. We have somebody sponsor classes. I mean, we have a big education committee, of which my wife Mindy runs, and that people will come in and we'll bring in talent from all over to kind of coach us, help us. I mean, there's so many tools available through our association, but a lot of our members don't take advantage of it, which boggles my mind at times because a lot of it is free.
Yeah.
You know, well, I shouldn't say it's free. They're paying it in their dues, but they're not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and I think sometimes if it's not right in front of you on a regular basis,
Right.
some people just don't even think about it.
Right.
And maybe that's something that, we'll bring attention to.
Well, one of the interesting things is stats will show that of the 4,000 plus members that we have, there's a certain tier that do a lot of transactions. Most of them are here today. The ones that take advantage of the seminars,
Right.
take advantage of the lunch and learns,
Right.
do better business.
Right.
So I think my message would be to take advantage of coming out here and seeing it and being part of that.
Right, it's being more involved in your industry.
Absolutely.
And, I think people take that as, well, it's taking away time from making money. But in reality, it's actually
the opposite.
losing.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And now I'm putting together the last name Lane.
Yes.
Mindy Lane and
Yes.
Bruce Lane.
Yes.
Now, we just interviewed Mindy, so...
She's a sweetheart, isn't she?
She is. Although she was standing next to Eric. And he's like, 6'4", 6'5", and she's not as tall. But we thank you for coming on, Bruce.
You're welcome.
And
Glad to be here.
I mean, it's an important job that you're doing. And I'm
you.
sure, I hope a lot of the realtors in the Rhode Island market appreciate the association.
I'd like to think so.
I hope they do. And that was Bruce Lane, the president of the Rhode Island Association for Realtors. And we're coming to a close of another NEREJ radio special from the Rhode Island Conference and Expo, which we did. This is our second year here.
Second year here.
And, we come to this and we meet some of the same people we met from the prior year. And most of the people are great to deal with down here.
They are. They're a fantastic group. The facility is unbelievable.
Yes, the New England
New England Institute of Technology. We were driving up and we were reminiscing about some of the things we remembered, like the koi pond at the bottom of the staircase. But this place,
you remember.
Yeah, right.
I didn't remember even seeing
the building.
That's the building.
But this building does leave a lasting impression if you do actually get inside here and enter it. The atrium is fantastic. I wish we could give you a panoramic view. But the interviews were great. The people are great, and the facility is magnificent.
And there was also a great point that Bruce Lane brought up about people not getting involved in the association or using what the associations have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as president of the Association for Rhode Island Association for Realtors, it's important that the members of that association know there's a lot of things that are offered through the association that their members can take advantage of. And being a broker in the real estate industry, I mean, it's something that they should look into.
For sure, I would say, not just the Rhode Island Association of Realtors, but if you go to any association, the continuing ed is so vital that we go to all sorts of association networks, and we go networking with all of them, and it's the people that you see all the time who are at all these education classes who are doing all the business.
Yeah, well, a lot of people
take advantage of the education.
And a lot of people think if they join and just put that label up on their window, they're good to go.
Right.
It's more than that.
Oh no, yeah, they're teaching you how to negotiate. They teach you how to do customer service. They teach you how to sell a deal.
There's a lot of things that
the legalities of all different associations.
He was talking about budgeting for your marketing.
Right.
And that's an important thing because people don't figure that into any of their budget.
They never do. But I agree with everything Bruce said, and hopefully people in the Rhode Island market will take a look at our show here today, and they'll take that away, and we'll see them in the next education
So remember,
class.
support your associations.
Always.
And take advantage of what they have to offer for you.
Definitely. You support them, they'll support you.
Thank you for listening to NEREJ Radio.